This is Natasha D'Souza reporting for SALT Voices, and I'm here at SALT Abu Dhabi with Stergios Voskopoulos, the CEO of Kanoo Capital. Good to have you with us, Stergios.
Hi, Natasha. Thanks for having me here.
Now, you were just on a panel talking about different, tactical approaches that can be happening within investment, and specifically you represent, as CEO of Kanoo Capital, the family investing kind of mindset. Take me through, specifically at Kanoo perhaps, and then even looking broadly, how do you see the investor appetite evolving when it comes to family offices in this part of the world?
Sure, thanks. I mean, for this part of the world, actually, all the businesses start from families. It's merchant families. Our family started 130 years ago in 1890 in Bahrain. So they've been entrepreneurial pioneers in different areas, and that has grown through different verticals. So it's still the feedstock for all the private capital in the region. Of course, recently we have seen also startups that come from individuals, residents. I mean, that's the venture capital asset class, but in terms of large private enterprises, this is mainly family-backed. So we see the future actually very promising and dynamic. It has gone through certain cycles in the region. You remember end of 2010, after the GFC, the global financial crisis.
Correct.
It had also an impact here. It was a correction, normalization, because it went through certain hypes. So now we have a great infrastructure in terms of cities, in terms of also human capital. You have young generations. 50% of the population is below 28 years old, so you have a very young population. Of course, the demographics are not favorable like in other geographies. However, the region is, I think, the crossroad between subcontinent Asia, from India to Africa. And that's why we're looking into different areas from logistics. So we see a lot of potential into innovation within logistics, healthcare, education. The people have to be better trained in order to respond to all of these needs and the requirements that the region has. So also as a family business group, we are trying to innovate, diversify, but also to expand to new businesses in new verticals. And we do this by acquiring into existing businesses or partnering with the experts.
Okay, I want to drill into that a little bit, because the UAE, as we know, of course, is home to a number of family offices that are able to write some really big ticket checks. But at the same time, the UAE is also a net exporter of capital. A lot of the money tends to flow into more mature markets like the US and EU and invest in enterprises there. So what ends up happening is you create almost a bit of a starvation cycle for businesses that are here, which hurts long-term, homegrown growth. When it comes to family offices in particular, are we seeing any kind of a change or a shift now, especially when we see, the small, medium businesses here suffer for lack of, financing, but we're also seeing success stories. You have the likes of the Middle East's largest unicorn being acquired, by Uber. I'm talking about Careem here. So has that, I think, gotten a few light bulbs turning on within family offices when it comes to thinking about investing differently?
Sure, yes. I mean, that's why we want to focus on what we can do very well in the region by being a leader or developing new things that we can potentially grow and maybe exit in the future, because as a family group we need to preserve wealth, but also to grow wealth. As the family becomes also bigger, there is...
Do you think that pendulum has been more leaning towards wealth preservation as opposed to growth?
For some families, yes. For some, it depends on your appetite and how you look. What's the vision? Right, for the group. So our vision is not only to preserve. We're not a passive family office, because you've seen that in the US, in Europe, even in the region, right? From generation over generation, they become more passive. No, we're still very active, and actually we want to become more active by bringing in management. Like myself, I'm not a member of the family, but we are partners together with the family. So we want to do things for the next decades in different sectors in the region where we can be leaders, but also by investing and diversifying to other geographies globally. So these two are two different buckets.
Okay, what are the sectors that Kanoo Capital is especially interested in?
In the region?
Yes, in the region.
Logistics, industrials, we are into oil and gas, but from an efficiency point of view, provide services into these verticals that are very broad. We like healthcare. Education is a new thing, not only secondary education, but also from a training perspective. Cybersecurity, it's another area.
I was going to ask about technology, in what way that's in the mix.
Technology is always there. It's innovation, but cybersecurity in specific is a new requirement for the region as the corporates grow, as more and more people are connected to the cyber world. And also we like sustainability from water preservation, waste management, climate change. I mean, as
you
we
may be
see,
one of the few that are looking at sustainability.
yeah,
in,
we
in,
have
in
to.
this, yeah, in this
It's
part
imperative
of the world.
because
It
we're not a
is.
PE fund with a term of 5 years that I need to get in and sell and exit in 5 years. We are building businesses or we grow businesses that have to remain for much more
for
time.
the long haul.
Yeah, for the long haul. So
Interesting.
that's very strategic for us.
If you could leave us with perhaps one or two takeaways from your panel today, what would those be?
That actually for investments in the region, you know, you remember what happened in the past few years with the Abraj events, and many people, you know, have been very reluctant in investing in
It's
the
affected
region.
confidence
Yeah,
in the market.
but actually to me that was a milestone, so now we need to see forward. So actually it's a positive, bad thing that happened for the industry and the investments in general, because we also as private owners, we need the industry of private equity to be there, because sometimes we want to exit or we want to partner. So actually I see a rose environment as long as we do it carefully and we don't follow hypes and very short-term
so as long as we learn our lessons from what that episode you brought to
corporate governance and compliance are very key for the success of any institutionalized investment management platform in the region.
Okay. Very pertinent words and especially applicable, you know, for our part of the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Stergios.
Natasha.
It was really
Thank you
great
for
having
having
you.
me here.
Thank you.